All right, everybody, this is Nash here, and I just got done doing a show with Aaron Little and Travis Gailey. It is a new Orange Bloods YouTube show from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. every Monday through Friday. Go check that out. I'll have a link down below. But if you look at this YouTube video title, it's a different video. I know it might seem like clickbait, kind of is just a little bit, but let me explain. And while I explain, go ahead and drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below your thoughts on. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on the new show that I just did with Aaron Little and Travis Gailey, and then also thoughts on this stuff that I'm about to tell you. I might get canceled by Longhorn fans today. I might, because when you start messing with the nostalgia, you hit it where it matters. All right, so let's just dive right on in and waste no time here. I think that the Texas Longhorn football team in 2023 not only can, but will have more draft picks than the 2005 National Championship roster. I told y'all I might get canceled, and it's probably happening right now, but you need to put nostalgia to the side and look at reality. The reality is that in 3 to 4 years, when the rubber meets the road, we could very well, we've never had a Texas team that has over 25 draft picks on a single roster since the year 2000. We could very well have, 30 is a legit conservative number when you talk about this year, the amount of talent that this team has. You know, some of the talent is young, and to that point, that if you might be sitting there saying, well, you can't just count all these guys look at a Colton Vasek. He may play a little bit, right? But he's not gonna be. Is he gonna be like a senior? No. Okay, no. Hold on. If you want to go to that route, 2002, one of the most talented Texas rosters we ever had Vince Young on it. Vince Young was a redshirt freshman. You didn't see Vince Young at all in 2002. But to a guy that he's one of my good friends, Nino Corner Sports. Go follow him on YouTube. Go follow him on Twitter. We're in a group chat and we're talking about this, and he's mentioned, hey, at the end of the day, yes, VY. I was saying, hey, VY is really, when you talk about the 2002 roster, he's really just eye candy, and that's going to be the truth for some of the guys on the 2023 roster. Probably the easiest to talk about might be a Peyton Kirkland, a guy that he has an NFL future body, but he's a freshman with some legit tackles in front of him. So, or a Cam Williams, that's a better tackle comparison. But so Nino, he was telling me, he goes, hey, you know what, Nash? He might be eye candy, but at the end of the day, that eye candy matters because that eye candy is on the scout team, helping the first team defense get in reps. And when you're having to go up against that's Vince Young is he's going to make you work in practice now, okay? So, but when you go and you look at it, we had 5 years of really good rosters that consistently, when I say consistently fill out the draft, I mean we did not have a player rounds 1 through 7. There was one player in one round every single year from 2002 to 2006. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean that we had a guy drafted. So in 2005, right? I'm not saying in the 2005 draft that we had a guy in every single round after that 2005 year. No. What I'm saying is, when you look at the roster, for example, 2002, Vince Young. Did he get drafted after 2002? No, he didn't. But he was on the roster. We're counting every single draft pick that was on the Texas roster. But, so when you go and you look at all the data, and I've either shown you at this point all the data on the screen, or I'll be showing it to you right now. Something that's interesting is we haven't seen a single center from the University of Texas, and this goes back to 1986. We have not seen a center taken in the draft since 1986. First guy to really be taken high was 1980, or last guy to be taken really high was 1984. But when you look at this looks really interesting to me. What I'm showing you on the screen right now is this kind of mirrors what Texas fans' memory might be like when you look at the Texas roster from the 2000s all the way to now. 2000, we had a really talented team. I mean, we had just lost to Ricky Williams. You got some really talented tackles. Mike Williams, Leonard Davis. You even got Casey Hampton on there. I mean, there's a lot of talent on this roster. And then it keeps on building and building and building. And then it builds to the crescendo, I believe is the right word to use here. In 2005, that was the most, like I said, that's the most picks we've ever had on a Texas roster. That's the most, let me reword it. That's the Texas roster that has held the most Texas draft picks in a single roster. And that there's no secret to it being the national championship roster. But we experienced a fall off. And it falls off bad on the offense. And this matches the memory. I mean, immediately. The thing that stands out to me is we did not, and now granted, Colt McCoy was injured, so this affected him. He could have very well been a first-round draft pick. You could honestly say likely, probable, most likely, all these words. But at the end of the day, even with Colt McCoy, you look at from 2000 all the way to 2005. There's six separate guys, 6 names that were all from the year 2000, 2005. They were on one of those rosters that they were a first round draft pick. If Colt McCoy doesn't get injured, post that, we only have 1 up until we get to Bijan Robinson. The defense, they held their own, and you can see it right here, what I'm showing it to you. I should have it up right now, but it's just the defense. They were carrying the program. And this is exactly like, if you remember Colt McCoy, you remember it was Colt McCoy or we had a bad day. Colt McCoy's running the ball or we're not doing anything on the ground. Colt McCoy's passing the ball. And really, it's a scary thought. Think of how bad we would have been. Not bad. Maybe that's the right word to say or right way to say it. But think of what we would have been like without Colt McCoy and Jordan Shipley. That's a scary thought. That's a scary thought process. And the reality is, Mac Brown. Yes, he's responsible for the national championship at Texas. Yes, he was responsible for building all the talent to what we saw. That great talent that we saw in the early 2000s. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and act like he didn't bring in talent after 2005. He brought in guys like Earl Thomas. He brought in guys like Kenny Vaccaro. Brought in guys like Aaron Williams, that's one of my favorite Longhorns. I mean, other guys like Jordan Hicks, Quandre Diggs, they probably went lower than they should have because they were on bad teams. And what this really shows to me is it shows that defense wins championships. Yes, it does, but so does the offense. Offense matters. You cannot neglect offense like Mac Brown did. And Mac Brown bled the program out. He bled the program out. Whether he was trying to or not, he bled us. He just let us sit there, bleed, and die. And for as much crap as Charlie Strong gets, he did an amazing job. Now, granted, a guy like a Deontay Foreman, that's a guy that Mac Brown brought in. But make no mistake, it's not because Mac Brown sat there and said, "Oh, Deontay Foreman, I got to have that." No. He saw his brother, said, "I got to have that, and we'll make a package deal if you can get your 40 time below," I believe it was a 4.5 at the time. Or maybe even 4.6. I mean, they really had to make an excuse to take Deontay Foreman. And it's crazy to think about. He was a Doak Walker Award winner, one of the best draft picks that we've had in the last 10 years. It's just like when you to point out how bad it got. NFL draft talent. Jeff Swaim, Malcolm Brown, Jordan Hicks, Hassan Ridgeway, Mikel Thompson, and Quandre Diggs. That's it. That's it. Only six names from the 2013 team. Jeff Swaim is your only offensive player drafted. And that's a 7th round pick gimme. It's just it. You to have a roster that's that, void of talent. It's where is it? It's nowhere to be found. And this isn't to say NFL guys aren't making these guys aren't making UDFAs. But if I were to go count every UDFA, this whole research thing would have taken way too long. But at the end of the day, you look at it, even if you're being conservative with the Texas roster, it stacks up to the 2005 team. You look at this, okay? 2005. How many? We had 5 first rounders, okay? Kelvin Banks, Quinn Ewers, Jonte Cook, Xavier Worthy, Jatavian Sanders, Arch Manning, Malik Murphy, Malik Muhammad, Anthony Hill, Terrence Brooks. These guys all have first round upside. They all have potential to get into the first round. All of them. Not saying they all will, but it is also probably a more. I'm not going to say more than likely. I'm not even going to say likely, but there's probably a decent percent chance that you see over half of those guys end up in the first round. I mean, it's probably likely that you see Kelvin Banks, Quinn Ewers, Xavier Worthy, and then Arch Manning, Jatavian Sanders. You're going to get 3 or 4 of those guys in. Likely. So, even without them being in the first round, they're still high draft picks, okay? Add in a guy, and I'm being conservative here, okay? Because, you're about to hear the names coming off after this. I'm trying to be conservative here. DJ Campbell, CJ Baxter, A.D. Mitchell, Adonai Mitchell. I'm going to start calling him Adonai because that's what he prefers. Adonai Mitchell, Jalen Catalon, Jahdae Barron, Jalen Gilbo, Byron Murphy, Devondre Sweat, Ryan Watts, Jalen Ford. That's 10 names right there. We're at 20. I mean, these are all guys that are legit draftable guys. And then you go to some guys that these guys are going to get drafted, right? But I'm trying to be conservative, so I'm going to call these fringe guys. Just for the sake of trying to, show how much talent is on this Texas roster right now in 2023. Christian Jones, Isaiah Nair, Jonathan Brooks, Jordan Whittington, Jelani McDonald, Baron Sorrell, Alfred Collins. That's more NFL draft picks than the 2005 roster. And I've only mentioned 3 freshmen. I haven't even talked about a guy that they're calling Baby Bosa. I'm not even talking about a PK who has an NFL body day one and could be an NFL offensive lineman in 3 years. And, I'm talking about a future NFL on Texas roster in 3 years. This team is talented. And in case you haven't picked it up by now, I should have clarified this at the very early beginnings of the video. What I'm classifying as talent in the title, in the thumbnail, is NFL draft picks. You could very well see a situation where there are over 30 NFL draft picks on this Texas roster, and in the era of 7 rounds in the NFL draft, I don't think we've ever done that once. Steve Sarkisian, and this goes to show this is why people have the opinion that they do of Texas in 2023. It's now or never. You cannot, of all the years that you've had some talent on this roster, you have Tom Herman. Underperform. You've had some talent on the roster, Charlie Strong. Underperform. There's way too much talent. If you ever thought there was talent on the Texas roster before, open your eyes and think again, because it's a lot more than it was. So, I know, dumping the Kool-Aid on y'all, but I mean, it's like, we're not even talking about a Galvin Holmes. Like, I mean, it's just there's a ton of guys who have the ability to end up being draft picks, much less high level draft picks. So, with that being said, Rice is on Saturday. We're here, baby. All right, everybody. You know how I'm about to end this. And be sure to go check out the episode. I'll have the link down below again. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. I appreciate all the support. Really, again, it's really blowing me away. The amount of people that were sitting there in the chat saying, "Hey, Nash, a big dub Nash, amazing day for Nash." I don't know if you saw me, but I couldn't help but smile every time I saw one of those comments. I thank y'all very much. I really do appreciate the support. And let's have a great season. All right, everybody. Hope you all have a great day. Hook 'em!